Jetzt gibt es ein ganz besonderes Schmankerl und zwar in Form von Ben Collins. Hier neben mir, den Mann solltet ihr kennen aus Top Gear zum Beispiel, da war er The Stig oder Kingsman. Grandioser Film und da ist er die ganzen Autostunts gefahren, wirklich abgefahren, hat unter anderem auch für James Bond Spectre gearbeitet. Ben, thank you for taking the time. You are currently involved with Project Cars 2.
Yes.
You as a professional stunt driver, how does your work look for this game? What did you actually do?
So I was involved from the beginning with Project Cars, so the original vision was to make the most realistic driving simulation of all time, and the first game really focused on motorsport, so tracks, new cars, a whole range of everything from GT to sports cars, and a lot of the cars I'd raced myself, as well as these amazing supercars, a lot of which I got to drive with Top Gear. So I brought the real world experience to the party and basically worked with the engineers to develop the software so that it would mirror real life, and I had a great time doing it because it's a great way to spend your time. And Project Cars 2 takes things to the next level, and we get to go sideways on really cool loose surfaces like snow and ice, mud, gravel. So yeah, it's been a really great journey.
So how did this collaboration come together? How did you get involved with Slightly Mad Studios?
I was approached by Ian Bell, who's the chief exec of the studio. He's a very determined guy, and he loves sim racing, but he was aware that there were shortcomings, and that I really found the old school sims very difficult to drive, and actually real life driving is quite easy. It's not easy to win races, but the old sims used to spit you off the corner and you crash, and I was always on fire and dying in a virtual world. So he really wanted someone who was passionate in the same way as him, and as the rest of the team, there's a massive group team all over the world, and there's about 7 of us doing the physics and handling consultants. So all of us share that vision to get together, and so he was the one that got me in, and he's the one that's captained the ship, really.
So do you think that with a racing sim, it is possible to actually gain experience for being on a real track in a real car?
100%. So in the old days, even the basic sims were quite useful for learning tracks. Even on a Game Boy, you kind of got an idea of, wow, what's Portugal like? I'm from Britain, so I learnt the British tracks, but to go and learn the great tracks of Germany or France, you need to try and get as much information as you can. The way they've scanned the tracks, every single bump and curbstone is there. I thought there's no more they can do, but they have, because now they're changing weather conditions. So we've got every kind of rain, puddles forming, hot and cold track temperatures, hot and cold tyres. All of this stuff feeds into it. The weather is seasonal, changes lap to lap, minute by minute during the race. So it's incredibly realistic. From a driver's perspective, because the cars handle in a lifelike fashion, you can really get to grips with what that car is like at that track in real time, and reproduce times that you would go and do in a real car if you know what you're doing. So the skills now really do transfer. A lot of people have converted from sim racing, and now it's a sport, professional, the e-racing and esports, and Project Cars is at the front of that. It's the most popular platform for esport racing.
So in your line of work, have you ever had a case where it happened, where you when you're working on a movie or anything like that, where you just got out of a stunt and you're like, shish, I just barely made it. That could have gone downhill really quickly. Have you ever had a situation like that? And if so, could you maybe elaborate on what movie or when that actually happened?
They're always close shaves. I think that's true of most races. There's always a moment someone taps the rear of the car and you think, oh my God, I'm heading towards the pit wall or something like this. And with the movies, we have more of an idea of what we're trying to achieve. Mm-hmm. So the risk management kind of should come before you get in the car. So you look at what it is, you find out what the most dangerous thing is, and then work out a way to sort of not kill everybody on the set. Is the better way to go than to just live by the seat of your pants. So we try and reduce those risks. But then in the moment, obviously things happen very quickly. I can't think of any one example, but you mentioned Kingsman, and that was really funny. Driving backwards all the time, and sometimes we flipped the car around so that you were driving forwards, but the car was facing backwards, and I had someone's face on the back of my head and the shroud in the front. I couldn't really see anything. I've dressed up as a chair once. I had to wear a leather outfit to look like the car had no person. They call it blind driving for a reason, because you can't really see much of what you're doing, with a tank that was churning up the back of the car and a man jumping from my car to the next one, and if you drive the wrong way, they're going to fall on a tarmac. So I suppose the most risky part of the job is when you're working with people who aren't in a car, and you really are worried for their safety, because I've got the big tin can and they've just got knee pads. So that's what keeps your adrenaline up and makes you concentrate.
So I'm such a big Kingsman fan. Are you involved with the sequel as well?
I'm not actually. I was going to drive the taxi, but anyway, things always change. And but I loved the original film. I thought was fantastic. I'm sure the sequel will be great.
What else can we see you in then?
So last year I worked on Doctor Strange, driving the Lamborghini very badly because he wasn't paying attention, so he crashed. Just worked on American Assassin, and then this year I've got a couple of other film projects in the making. So look forward to seeing those come.
Well, best of luck to you, and lots of fortune and good driving to you, my friend.
And to you. Don't fall through the icy lake, it's very cold.
Das stimmt, ich sollte nicht durch den Eissee hier fallen. Das ist ein guter Tipp von Ben Collins. Wie gesagt, einer der ganz Großen in der Branche, der Rang und Namen hat und der wirklich weiß, wie man richtig gut ein Auto fährt, wie das mit Project Cars 2 zusammenhängt und ob das Spiel dann auch gut wird. Tja, das wird sich erst noch zeigen müssen.